Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys 1/6 scale Star Wars Revenge of the Sith figure unboxing and review. Today is finally the day we're taking a look at DX Artisan Anakin Skywalker. I've waited so long to say those words. Now I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Hot Toys Star Wars content goes live on the channel. Hot Toys, you are a bold one. Using photography of the absolute perfection that was the Artisan Anakin prototype on the front of the box feels a little bit disingenuous, knowing based on the blogger pics that the final production piece actually inside the box doesn't quite look like this. As for the box art, this slipcover is simple enough. We've got a picture of the prototype up front, a glossy wraparound banner with another picture of Anakin on it, his Jedi starfighter behind him. Not once, but twice, there's another one off to one side. Does that mean they're eventually going to make it? Nah, I don't think so. This video is brought to you by JustinsCollection.shop, the home of the figure first aid kit, as well as other accessories to help your collection be the best it can be. The first aid kit contains multiple tools to help you with maintenance, styling rooted hair, and much more. We also sell crotch grabbers, soft rubber tips to prevent damage, and they're compatible with most modern Hot Toys base molds. Acrylic risers come in multi-packs. They're optically clear, thick and sturdy, and stackable. Check out the link to JustinsCollection.shop in the description. And would you look at that? There it is again, on the side of the box for the wraparound banner. This is done in high gloss versus the satin finish for the rest of the packaging. There's another product shot of Anakin, once again the prototype. It's almost a full body shot, but it cuts off at the boots. Around the back, nothing to write home about, just warnings, legal information, and their store locations. Oh, now this is more like it. All of the artwork on the inner box is done in a metallic finish, and it is glorious. As light bounces off the surface, the entire thing gleams. We've got an image of Anakin. This looks like the final production piece, though, not the prototype. Interesting. Darth Vader behind him, and a bunch of other characters, but they're not figures. They're costume test pics from Revenge of the Sith. Once again, interesting. Below Anakin, metallic foil Star Wars logo, and the artwork wraps all the way around the box. See what I mean? Even around the back of the box, yes, there's warnings and legal information, but who cares about that? This would be Mustafar in the background, I would imagine, and I think I'm underselling how good this artwork looks in person. Metallic really does help it pop. You will see what I mean when you get yours in hand. I'm not gonna lie, they cooked with the artwork, just like Obi-Wan did on Mustafar with Anakin. I'm so sorry. This slipcover is foam backed to protect what's underneath it. We've got a shot of the production piece, Obi-Wan versus Anakin, from the film, not figures, his name, and a read-up. Feel free to pause to read. Now, seeing as though this is a DX Artisan figure, we're not going to be able to look at the head sculpt right now because it's on the underside of this clamshell plastic, so let's check out the body instead. First, in-hand impressions for Anakin's body. Yeah, it feels pretty similar to the last one, honestly. What we're going to do now is get all of Anakin's accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Almost everything he comes with. His robe is currently out of shot. We'll come back to it, but what is DX about this? Leaving the head sculpt out of it, that's an Artisan thing. DX. It used to mean something. Secondary head sculpt. Second body. Secondary outfit. Sometimes all of the above, a 2-pack. Diorama display bases. But this right here, this array of accessories, is nothing special. We got most of this stuff with the other versions of Anakin anyway. But starting off with the display base first, it's reuse. It's good reuse, I like this base mold, but it's not new for Artisan Anakin. It doesn't even have an LED light up effect. These windows should have lit up, in my opinion. It's nicely painted, there's speckling of grey all over it to make it look aged and metallic. Then this top plate is printed textured cardboard, a height adjustable crotch grabber, Star Wars and Anakin Skywalker for the nameplate. Surely they could have given us an additional diorama display base and this piece still would have been in budget for them. Because there is a vast amount of reuse here. Even the robot arm is reused from the previous version of Anakin. Swaps out at the double bend elbow, we've got a swivel, a hinge at the wrist, and individually articulated fingers with a ball joint at the base of the thumb. There is so much detail on this. Glossy black, metallic gold, little wires, and even a gasket in the middle there. I'll show you what this looks like on him a little bit later. When it comes to lightsabers, we get two of them. For the non-LED lightsaber hilts, Anakin's Graflex is Episode 3 accurate, with the knurling on this middle band and the gold section around the front of the activation switch with detailing on it. They've even given us a switch-out CoverTech wheel, so this can properly be hung on his belt, or you can remove it and install the collapsed version. Just be careful not to lose that, you don't get any spares. The lightsaber blade is tapered towards the tip, I wish they would stop doing that. Translucent blue plastic, and it's more vibrant than usual. They were leaning desaturated for a while there, but not this time. The silver paint app on the hilt is immaculate. So metallic and shiny. Then there's the swooshing effect blade. It's fine. It plugs into the lightsaber hilt like this, and people still tell me that I am wrong and I should not be complaining it's an equal fan all the way down. But why doesn't it look like that? A swooshing effect blade should have a leading edge and a trailing edge, in my opinion. If you don't agree with me, that's fine, but I'm hoping one day they give us that as an option. Just include both the fan one and the proper lightsaber trail. It's darker around the front than it is the back, so I guess that's supposed to be the leading edge. Oh, this pisses me off. Not Dooku's hilt. It's stunning. Shiny, metallic, just like Anakin's. We've got the spike up top, the red trigger at the bottom, the matte grey, the red lightsaber blade. The vibrancy there is good too. And a swooshing effect for it. The same inaccurate sculpt, at least I think it is. But there's no LED light up version. They've given us one for Anakin's lightsaber, but not Dooku's. What the hell were they thinking? I complained about this in the preview video for Anakin. They have done nothing to rectify it. I'm not saying they have to listen to me, but a lot of people complained about this. And understandably so. They've only given us a light-up lightsaber hilt for Anakin's Graflex. Dooku's, you're shit out of luck. Maybe you need to go custom for that. Check out fusion reactors. Link in the description, not the last time I'm going to mention them. This lightsaber hilt connects to a junction box. There's a clip on the back. This is meant for his belt. Or you can switch it out with this C-clamp and instead attach the junction box to the crotch grabber on the stand, which is what I recommend. His Jedi robe is wired for the hood. It's a really thin, lightweight fabric. We'll try this out on him. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to rock him wearing this though. And lastly, some hands. Not a full array because once again they didn't give us pairs. These are fingers curled in style pose hands. You could always use this for a force choke if you wanted. Gloves for the right side but ungloved for the left. Skin texture and vein work. However, the detail is quite soft. These hands, they're looking dated. They shouldn't have reused them from the original Anakin. They can reuse the gloved ones, that's fine. The leather grain texture, the ribbing on the back of them, no complaints there. It's just the ungloved ones that don't look right to me. The fingers are soft enough, you can pry them open and pop the lightsabers in there, no problem. Two closed fists, two different force pushing hands, fingers curled in less on the left versus the right, but only one finger's fully splayed out force push hand. What we're going to do now is get Artisan Anakin himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. The only thing I've done is pop his lightsaber hilt on his belt to complete the look. With him simply standing there, he's not doing anything. He looks so real. That is Hayden Christensen in costume rotating around on the turntable in front of the camera. You can't convince me otherwise because that head sculpt, it might not be the prototype sculpt, but it's already impressing me. I might be showing my hand too early, we'll dive in deeper in a second. Everything else, the proportions, the outfit, they've improved over and above the original. I didn't think they were going to, so that's a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Before we look at Anakin fully assembled up close, if this is your first time seeing an Artisan piece, this is how the head sculpts come packaged to protect their hairstyles. Translucent plastic cylindrical upper section. I like this almost imperial looking detail work, but this isn't Star Wars specific, it's just a happy coincidence. Then around the front, a nameplate, as though anyone would be displaying Anakin's head sculpt inside a jar like this. It's a nice touch, I appreciate the added detail on the front of it, but yeah, nah. We're all going to install Anakin's head sculpt on the body, so let's do that. Et voila! Have I styled the hair? Shit no I haven't. The reason for that, we will get into. I'm trying out a new lens, and I've got some different lighting this time. Fingers crossed I'm doing this head sculpt justice. Just the sculpt part of it. Ignoring the hair for a second. Does this look like Hayden? I can see the likeness everywhere, but it's strongest for me right there, 3/4 turn. Now, some folks have said that it's a downgrade versus the prototype. That is true. There's less visible skin texture, the wrinkles are softer, the frown lines are less detailed, but it's still very well sculpted and painted. There's a subtle 5 o'clock shadow down below. The freckles and moles that are supposed to be there are. He's got the furrowed brow up top, the scar, the eyebrows. You can make out individual hair strands, and he's even got painted on eyelashes. Then the icing on the cake for me, moving eyes. I have waited for an episode 3 Anakin with moving eyes forever, and we finally have one. Now, the head is separate to the neck, but the skin tone and skin texture match between the two pieces is pretty spot on. And the seam isn't visible from most angles. From the side, yes, but 3/4 turn, not really. From the front, it's entirely hidden. Now, the reason why I didn't try to style the hair is because it's clumpy. Like, there is so much product in it. If I was to style it, I would need to wet it down, pretty much wash all of the product out of it. That might lighten it up and therefore the color would be more accurate, but I'd have to start from scratch with the styling. And I am terrible at styling 1/6 scale rooted hair, so I'm not interested in doing that. This is how it arrived to me. This is how the artist at the factory who styled it intended it to look. Hence the name Artisan, and Artisan did the hair on my piece. I'm going to leave it alone. If you don't like it, there is potential for it to look better if you are an expert hairstylist, but I already said it, I'm not. I'm happy with the way this looks. Is the hair too dark? Yes. Is it inaccurately clumpy? It's not frizzy like it was in the movie? Also, yes. Don't forget, there sometimes is a difference between accuracy and resemblance. Does this resemble Anakin's hairstyle from the movie? I think it does. Even though it's not 100% accurate. Some people are going to be pissed hearing me say that. Justin, you're making excuses for it. Justin, you love everything. Of course you're going to defend it. Justin, your lighting is terrible. It looks atrocious. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. I'm just a dude making figure reviews, and I've got to be honest. This head sculpt has won me over. I was worried based off the blogger pics, but now that I'm seeing it in hand, this is a stellar head sculpt. Anyway, let's discuss the moving eyes, because this expression, with the furrowed brow and the subtle frown, I think is going to come to life with some side eye. Oh yeah, Anakin, work it. That side eye, the furrowed brow, that smolder. Signature Anakin pissed off expression right there. And the head sculpt is height adjustable. You can pull it up on the neck if you need more range or if you want to adjust his proportions. I like it all the way down personally, but it's entirely up to you. Off to the other side now, still really good, except we're hiding the scar, and that's such a signature Anakin thing. I want to show it off. If I was to display him with side eye, which I am going to, they'd be looking the other way. Oh, Anakin is pissed. This is where the extendable neck comes into play, because when he's looking so far forward, you want to see some of the skin tone neck. You can pull the head sculpt up and accomplish that. To move the eyes around, if you're wondering how easy it is, it's pretty straightforward. Take the head sculpt off. Unlike some other Artisan figures, you don't need to mess up the hair. There's no magnetic back hair panel. There's heaps of access inside the sculpt. You can use your finger and move the eyes around. Some quick housekeeping. When it comes to moving eyes, getting the position right isn't always easy. I would suggest looking at the head sculpt from below, and then you'll be able to line up the eyes a little bit more easily. If you've got no white showing above and below his pupils and irises, he looks ridiculous, so just bringing them up ever so slightly will rectify that. Now he looks significantly better. So yeah, long story short, this head sculpt is a masterpiece, in my opinion. Introducing some shadow off to one side. Yeah, playing with the lighting really brings out the likeness. But there's one more thing I want to try out, then we can discuss the body. And that's this. Making your own Artisan Dark Side Anakin. And it's so easy to do. If you've got the Clone Wars or new Phantom Menace Darth Maul, grab some tweezers, pull his eyes out. It sounds scary to do, but trust me, it's so simple. Pull Anakin's eyes out, also using tweezers. Pop Darth Maul's eyes in. Voila! This is what you're left with. Why didn't they include some swap out eyes in the box? Because this head sculpt was made for the dark side eyes. The palish skin tone, the expression. I'm tempted to display him like this permanently. Let me know down in the comments. Do you like this? Or should I go with the standard eyes? Can you also see the subtle darkness under his eyes that the Darth Maul eyes bring out on the sculpt? I didn't notice that originally, but it really lends to the Sith eye look in my opinion. Alright, enough messing around with the eyes now. I've popped the stock ones back in. Just quickly back on the hair for a second, I want to emphasize that you can style it. And if you wash the copious amounts of hair product out of it that Hot Toys have put in, you might even lighten it up a touch. But they have used so much product that it barely wants to move. It looks and feels almost like sculpted hair because of how much product is in it. Speaking of sculpted, this is the original Episode 3 Anakin. It is a night and day difference. For those saying the Artisan hair is too long, look how much hair the sculpted one had. And no, it's not the exact same head sculpt with rooted hair on it. It is a brand new sculpt. On the left, that looks so real. That is Hayden. Whereas on the right, the likeness was okay for back in the day, but there's no denying it. It is a dated head sculpt. I just want to keep shooting the head sculpt all day, but we can't do that. Let's move on to the outfit. The tabards, the belt, and the boots are pleather. Is that frustrating given the price point on this? Yes, 100%. It's insulting almost. I'm hoping this stuff stands the test of time, and if my original Anakin is anything to go by, they will. But still, genuine leather should have been the material they went with for at least the tabards. The belt could have been sculpted plastic, and the boots could have been PVC. The tabards are wired, and out of the box, they'd added these folded over corners. They'd used the wires to shape them, front and back. That simulates the weight of leather tabards, and I like the way they've done that, so I'm going to keep it like that. The sleeve on his left side is wired at the bottom, which is going to be great for getting it to hang naturally when you're doing dynamic poses. The fabric itself is extremely thin, almost a little bit see-through, but that ensures it hugs the body and it doesn't add too much bulk to him. Because he's got a lot of layers on. They've used that same fabric for 1, and then 2, and then 3 undershirts. The one that's closest to his body is a lighter brown color, and you can adjust all of them by pulling on these bottom pieces, the skirt, that sticks out underneath the belt and tabards. Out of the box, my undershirts were riding a bit high, but when I adjusted them, now they're sitting a lot closer to the body. His belt, you already know it's pleather. The buckle is plastic. We've got some metal studs. The canisters, the pouches, they're all sculpted plastic. And a CoverTech clip, which is functional. So you can pop his lightsaber on his belt, and while it's not the most secure connection in the world, as long as you don't get too crazy while posing, I don't think it's going to fall off on you. Then on this side, he's got his sculpted plastic gauntlet, which is a split cut design, and then there's the separate hand underneath it. Make sure you pull the gauntlet all the way down to cover up the seam between the two, otherwise you will be seeing an unsightly plastic wrist peg. The shine on the tabards is nice, not denying that. The leather grain looks good. All of the visuals with this outfit are spot on. It's just the material choice I'm worried about. I don't want these tabards to degrade, especially not on a pricey figure. The bottom parts of the tabards are wired as well, but the material is really thick, so the wires have a tough time fighting it and keeping the tabards in the positions that you put them in. So maybe just have these ones hanging down naturally. His pants are a lightweight material, and they're a lighter reddish-brown fabric versus the darker browns up top, so there's some contrast going on. A little bit of padding on the inside, but not too much. Then, the boots. They're a different pattern versus last time. They're bigger, and they've fixed the buckling around the front almost. There's still a little bit of it, but versus what we got with the first release, this is significantly better looking. There's a heavy leather grain texture in between the rib sections up front, smoother leather grain for the rest of the boots, separate pleather straps, some darker airbrush shading, sculpted tread on the underside with a lighter brown dry brush on it. They actually painted the tread. Alright, it's time to try this bad boy out. To remove his gauntlet arm, the first thing you want to do is take his hand and the gauntlet itself off. Let the fabric for the sleeve unfurl itself, roll up the sleeve, exposing the double bend elbow, and I know this is scary. I don't even want to do it, but I have to for the sake of the review. Grab the forearm and put your thumb on the double bend for the elbow. Push the arm backwards and it will pop out for you. If it's a bit tight at first, just go slow, eventually you'll be able to remove it. And the last step is to plug the robot arm in. I like to bend it at the elbow like this, so I've got something to push against as I'm installing it. It's a tight fit, take your time with it, and for me, I'm going to have to do this off camera to get it seated correctly. Look, it's a great bonus, but that's exactly what it is. It's a bonus. I have never once displayed either of my Anakins with the robot arm on. Maybe I'm missing out, or I just don't care for it. At least now we've got articulated fingers, so doing different gestures that weren't previously possible with it are now available to you. No harm, no foul. At least we tried it. I gave it a crack. Just not my thing. How about the cloak on Artisan Anakin? There is so much fabric. The Jedi cloak is a thin, beautiful, lush, lightweight, textured microfiber material. But there's a lot of it. I like to tuck the excess fabric underneath his armpits, then bring his arms down to lock it in place. That way you can pin it and show off the outfit underneath it. If you just pop it on, it's probably going to come all the way around the front, covering everything else. It's not wired, except for the hood. It's pleated on the inside and lined, that's movie accurate. While I will never be hiding his artisan hair under the hood, you can do it. Not well. You see, Hot Toys always struggle with wired hoods, and this one is no exception. They need to add a wire over the top. There's already seam there anyway. As it stands, this hood should sit like that, but it doesn't. It springs up and it looks ridiculous. I've always liked I'm pulling off the robe pose. It's quite dynamic seeing all of the excess fabric for the robe bunching on the ground behind him. It's not to say that you can't get the hood to look good. I'm just not willing to invest the time in this review to do that. If I ever decide, maybe just for a few figure pics, to have Artisan Anakin wearing the hood, then I'll put in the extra effort. It's that time of the video where we get to try out their attempt at an LED light-up lightsaber. Yay! But not really. It's pretty mid, actually, the way they've done this. Starting off with the power supply, USB-C connected to my battery bank, then the junction box, which is currently hooked to his belt, but I don't recommend doing that because the plastic clip could dig into the pleather belt, and it puts a lot of pressure on the pleather tunic underneath the belt. So hook this to the crotch grabber instead if you're going with Hot Toys LED light-up lightsaber. I will turn the studio lights off in a second, give it a chance to impress us, but turning on the power supply, this is what it looks like. The light is in the base of the hilt. Think a flashlight. So of course, with the blade not being frosted, the light isn't diffused properly, and it doesn't transfer all the way through to the tip of it. They're getting better, they're getting brighter, but unless they're putting a light source inside the blade, this is never going to be perfect. Studio lights off now, still brightest at the bottom. Gets dark in the middle, there's a bright spot at the top because light is being projected through it. Not a fan, personally. This simply ain't it for a light-up saber in 1/6 scale. What is it? Fusion reactors. Linked their Insta in the description. You can probably already see, based on the glow, how bright their Anakin lightsaber blade is. It destroys the Hot Toys one. Hot Toys should be ashamed. Their flashlight hilts, they pale in comparison to proper custom LED sabers. It's been said previously that Fusion Reactor's hilts leave a lot to be desired when it comes to paint apps and detail. Maybe that was true back in the day, but not anymore. It's almost on par with what Hot Toys give us. The shiny chrome silver finish, the sculpted ribbing for the handle section, gold up top, the red trigger, and we've got a very thin and relatively long braided cable with standard USB on the end of it, USB-A, so you can plug it directly into your power supply, no junction box needed. For a quick side-by-side comparison, there really is no comparison, is there? On the left, clearly Artisan, and on the right, the original. I've still got a soft spot for the original, I'm keeping it. If you're not, you're considering upgrading or you already have Artisan on the way, totally understandable. You are in for a treat. It is a top-to-bottom overhaul. It's not just a new head sculpt with rooted hair, but that definitely factors in. The body has different padding, that helps with proportions, and the tailoring, both in terms of the fit and the material choices, superior with Artisan. The shoulders, where the tabards buckle over the belt area. The thinness of the fabric for the underrobes. Look at that left sleeve on Artisan Anakin. I didn't have to do anything to it. The original one was a 2-ply thicker fabric, still wired for the edge of the sleeve, but way more difficult to work with. Even the boots. There's no buckling on the front of them. Yes, they're pleather. The tabards are still pleather. The tabards are shinier, and there's a blue tint to them. It's not lighting, it's genuinely how they look, and it's movie accurate. If I was picking between them, no contest, it's the figure on the left. I've had to tone down the lighting a bit because I didn't want to blow out Obi-Wan's left shoulder. His outfit is quite light in color. But I reckon that's actually helped bring out the likeness even more with Artisan Anakin. Dude, the most up-to-date Obi-Wan Kenobi sculpt, we got it with Clone Wars and Mandalorian Disguise Obi-Wan, on the Episode 3 body, with the eyes off to one side. You know I love my side eye. Next to Artisan Anakin. This pairing right here is peak Revenge of the Sith in 1/6 scale. I don't think you can beat it. Yes, one day they might give us an Artisan Obi-Wan, but for right now, I'm so freaking happy with this. Next to Clone Wars Ahsoka, I don't think this works. Anakin, he looks like a real person, standing there in front of the camera, but Ahsoka is lacking in the realism department. When we get the Ariana Greenblatt version from the Ahsoka series, maybe this will look better. Going over articulation, starting off with Anakin's head sculpt. Ball joint at the base of the neck, double ball peg underneath the head, and don't forget, it's height adjustable, so you can bring the head up if you need more range. Looking all the way forward, looking all the way back, swivel, and plenty of pivot side to side. His arms will go up to there, unhindered by the multiple layers of the fabric undershirt, forward and back on soft ratchets. There's a butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down, and his arms can go completely flush down by his sides. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going past 90, no problem. Then for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. His torso, limited by the pleather tabards, crunching forward to there, going back to there, not as much as forward, swivel, and some pivot side to side. His legs go forward to there, restricted by the padding, they spring back down a bit, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh. Double bend at the knee, not on ratchets, going only just past 90. And pleather boots with a double ball peg inside of them. Good for forward and back, rotation, but that's the entire boot. And some ankle tilt, a decent amount of ankle tilt, surprisingly. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing is, really, Hot Toys, you couldn't give us an LED light-up lightsaber for Dooku's hilt? We get one for Anakin's, but nah. Only one, so you can't display him with both lightsabers without it looking strange. I get it. They didn't want to give us a Dooku hilt in case they ever make another Count Dooku, then the LED light-up lightsaber will be a reason for people to upgrade. Versus grabbing Anakin and giving this one to your original Dooku. But that's not good enough. For a DX Artisan release for Anakin that comes with Count Dooku's lightsaber, it really should have lit up. You know what else should light up? The base. All of these pill-shaped windows should have a light-up effect inside of them. This reused base mold pales in comparison to what we got with Darkside Anakin, a pan-droid diorama display base with an LED light-up effect in it. Yes, Darkside Anakin was exclusive, but come on, Artisan Anakin, it's also kind of exclusive in his own way. The third annoying thing, yet another complaint with this being billed as a DX Artisan release, where are all the hands? Why don't we have pairs for every single one of the gestures? And they don't even give us relaxed open palm ones. Not to mention the detail on the ungloved hands, he looks like he's got sausage fingers. This might have been fine back in the day, but we're expecting better from you, Hot Toys, especially in 2025 and especially for DX Artisan. The first cool thing, the height adjustable neck connector. It makes a big difference when it comes to altering Anakin's proportions or dialing in the right pose perfectly. The second cool thing is they've tightened up the tailoring. It's not the exact same outfit as last time. It hugs the body better in certain places, and I like the shinier tabards. Still wish they weren't pleather though. The third cool thing isn't necessarily a planned feature, it just so happened to work out. It's the compatibility with Sith eyes. OT Customs, link to his Insta in the description. He's making some Sith eyes for Anakin, but if you've got Clone Wars or Phantom Menace Darth Maul, pop the eyes out, install them inside Anakin Sculpt, and then you'll have yourself Artisan Dark Side Anakin. Wrapping up on Artisan Anakin, this was such an important release for them, so much pressure. Did they deliver? For everyone? Likely not. There is a downgrade in the final production head sculpt, and the styling of the hair, and the colour of the hair, versus the immaculate perfection that was the prototype. No company is immune from this. Even InArt struggled to reach the prototype standard that they set for themselves with Aragorn. Remember that head sculpt? People were saying my lighting was terrible and it's my fault for making the sculpt look bad, but when they got it in hand, they realized it's a softer head sculpt versus the prototype, yet it's still incredible. I believe the same thing's going to happen with this Anakin. It is the best 1/6 scale Revenge of the Sith Anakin I've ever seen, released by any company. Customs, they might trump this, because an artist sitting down and doing the hair for you, you can never beat that. But out of the box, mass-produced, this figure is awesome. It's a significant upgrade over the original, and it brings so much more to the table. We've got moving eyes this time, better tailoring, and you've restarted the clock on the pleather tabards if you get this one. What do I mean by that? Well, the original's been in your collection for a while, I would gather, and the pleather is looking old and matte, and it might start to crack soon. You get this one, it doesn't solve the pleather issue entirely, but you're starting again. It's fresh, it's shiny, it's gonna last a hell of a lot longer than the original Anakin's pleather just by default because it's brand new. Pleather aside, at the end of this, I am genuinely so chuffed with this piece. I cannot wait to stop shooting it and pop Anakin in the display next to Obi-Wan where he should be. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.